In your soft skills, networking, what your niche is, who the people that you're trying to get to, being organized and scheduling, you know, looking at your day, all the little minutia of what you need to do so that you can grow, right? Those are the important things, and those are sometimes the things that are lost on young people when they come to school and then they get to learn music. Thankfully, we have a lot of great, people that are pushing that and understanding, hey, music business, what does that mean? And, you know, where can you work or this or that? But at the end of the day, I think one of the biggest things that you learn if you're going to be a music major or somewhere in the arts is, if you haven't already, is learning how to learn. That's probably one of the biggest things, because the important thing that I've learned over the years is connecting the dots to what I did before I was a musician to myself as a musician. And for many years, I was just not doing that. I was thinking about the art. I was thinking about the field itself and not thinking about the little things that I needed to do. I was listening to a podcast. It's a really great podcast on business. It's called The Six Figure Creative. If you guys are into podcasts, I highly recommend you listen to it, because they interview all of these amazing people. I was listening to one on the way here of a lady who in 4 years took her graphic design business. She was working a job in something else, learned to become a graphic designer in a saturated field, and went to, in 4 years, to making over $10,000, $20,000 a month, right? But she talks about very practical things, little practical things. And so they interview musicians. But a lot of the work that I do is actually digital. So I'm getting sessions and I'm recording from my house. About 5 years ago, well, actually, man, it's been about 7 now. I decided that, you know, I don't mind going to the studio. That's fun, commercial studio. But I wanted to be able to record from home and people pay me to either produce or do film and television. I've done some film and television, podcasting, composing jingles, and that type of thing. But I wanted to be able to do that from home. That way, I have about 200 some odd instruments in my studio, and so I have everything right there. So I built up my studio as we were building our house, and I've been working. I've done about 24 albums out of there and several other sessions. But one of the things that I've found is, the reason I asked if anybody is moving, is some of the people that I know that are the most successful, at least in this area, instead of just moving to Nashville or Los Angeles, really built their home base while they were home. They continued to network. Maybe they flew out, but they built a home base. They might not have benefits. So it's not all as it seems. And the reason I bring this up is the idea of vanity metrics, right? So has anybody ever heard of that term, vanity metrics? This is the world. It's basically a big term of saying, vanity. It's all vanity, so it doesn't really mean as much, but it looks like something big. Metrics meaning statistics. As a musician, I've gotten caught up in this. As an artist, as an entrepreneur, I've gotten caught up in this for many years, even when I didn't realize I was doing it. But sometimes we focus on the vanity metrics, meaning the amount of followers, perhaps on Instagram or TikTok, but maybe it doesn't convert. There may be a person who has 2,000 followers on Instagram, but 50% of those people that are following their Instagram feed engage in whatever they post. That is massive. They may only have 2,000, but if 50% of them, that's 1,000 people that are engaged in whatever they do, right? So that means if they do an affiliate program with a cymbal company, and it's a $300 cymbal company, and those 1,000 people, let's say it's Pareto's principle, 20% of those 1,000 people, that's 200, buy that $300 cymbal. How much is that? What is that, 6,000 or so? If they do that in a week, that means this lady or man who has posted something in 1 week for a company can pull in $3,000 to $6,000, and they only have 2,000 followers on Instagram. But that's because they have, back in the day we called it super fans, but they have an engaged audience. Or you can look at someone who has 200,000 followers in the blue check mark, right? But then they rarely return over someone actually selling something if they post it. It tickles me the whole iPhone versus Android debate thing. I get it, it's cultural now, and now it has become, because they're expensive, it's kind of become like this whole Dre Beats thing. You know, it's like, oh, I know that costs money to get that, or it was trendy, you know, so it becomes that thing. But for me, I could care less. The reason I like using an iPhone is because I have an iPad and I have a MacBook Pro that I work from, and I have a desktop. And I can AirDrop something right now. So for instance, if I'm doing recording on the field and I record, I use this. This is basically like a $400 audio recorder, right? So if I record, right now I can go back to the house, AirDrop it to my computer, drop it into my recording software, line it up to the video, boom. You know, you can go into the general settings and change it to lossless quality as a waveform, right? You can enhance the audio within the settings. And then understanding that this microphone has high presence, what is it called? Not presence boost, I forget what the term we call it. But basically, the farther your voice gets from it, it's checking the closest thing. So the farther your voice gets from it, the more of the room it's going to take. So if you get closer to your voice as you record with the iPhone, you'll notice 1 inch. 1 inch with the iPhone makes a massive deal change. From here to here, it becomes drier, more presence. The mids start becoming boosts. And for video, audio's king. You can have so video quality, but if the audio quality is jacked up, people are going to notice it right away. Okay? So you really want to focus on that audio. So for me, starting off, my brother runs a very successful heating and air conditioning business. So he's the business guy. Me, I'm still learning, right? I consider, in all transparency, I'm learning every day. But we talk a lot, and one of the things that he was saying at first was, because I was learning about video, I bought these DSLRs and mirrorless cameras, and learning about light, and he was like, dude, a lot of times people don't care. Why, if you focus on that, while you're focusing on that, all these other people are just blowing up, because they're just doing it. So you got to be like Nike, right? And just do it. But what I did was I said, well, I started like the problem solution thing. What is the thing that makes a video? And this is the mindset that we want to think of too. If I'm making videos online, I'm creating content, I'm just, for whatever reason, trying to get the word out there, trying to get, so that companies can call me to sell their product, or they can pay me to make a video. How can I make my videos look like a higher production quality, right? Well, you want to ask yourself, what does that mean? When you watch a movie, what do you think about it, or a commercial? What do you think about watching that? What does it look like to you that makes it look professional? Now, if you're an artist, I wasn't sure if we were going to get any artists in here, like actual painting or whatnot, photography. Some of you might know the terms, though. Some of the things that make it look cinematic are actual technical things. One of those might be framing. Framing's everything, right? One simple movement of the camera can make that thing look like a higher quality. When you go back to audio, the iPhone is a funny thing. Android, same thing. If you ever do, like you do singing videos, and let's say you don't have the software, now we have so many amazing apps. But if you don't have the software to sync your voice later and do the whole overdub thing, if the speaker's behind you, right behind you, and the microphone of your phone is right in front of you, the iPhone's going to say, well, these voices and your voice are both the main voice we want to pick up, and then we'll try to cancel out the rest. Do an experiment and put the speakers behind the phone, and you'll notice it sounds a lot less mixed in. So little things like that, right?